We're live. Thank you very much for joining us today, Tracy. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you. It's great to see you guys too. I appreciate being here.
Whereabouts are you right now? Where are you located?
I'm in a beautiful little scenic town called Port Perry. It's in Ontario, Canada, and I'm on an island called Scugog Island. And Port Perry is pretty famous for a lot of the Hallmark movies are filmed on our main street.
Really?
We're like
So
the
you've got
love
a
town.
picturesque little town. Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's beautiful. How's the weather up there today?
It's not actually the most beautiful day, but it's perfect for something like this because I have a full wall of window. And so usually between 9 and 11, I don't even work because the sun blasts in here and I can't see anything and it's too hot to be in here. But today is beautiful. It's overcast, a little bit of rain. It's going to be awesome.
Wonderful. It's 63 degrees today here, which is crazy.
Nice.
It's
I think
very warm.
Yeah, we're warm too, but we still have a lot of snow. Like there's tons of snow. Yeah. Do you guys
Everything
have
is
snow?
mud here. We've got a lot of mud.
It feels like spring. Yeah, I'm just 3 hours north of Lara in upstate New York, and it feels like spring. The creeks are raging. It's that good air, that really incredible fresh air, and it's almost 50 this morning and muddy. So much mud. But it feels good. It feels really good.
It's a heart-opening kind of, oh, there's hope. There's hope.
Exactly. Just one day of decent weather that'll get us through the next, 8 weeks.
Yeah. My tiny bit of a disappointment with this weather was the overcast. I was really excited to see that wolf moon, just really connect to it. And without a visual, it's always a little, oh, I didn't get to see it, but that's okay.
I was reading about that last night. They said they call it the wolf moon because wolves howl more at this moon than any other.
Yeah. And usually because it's so cold and the echo can carry so far that they can bring their whole pack together.
Beautiful.
Not this year. It wasn't cold.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome.
Good morning.
So if you don't mind starting at the beginning for us, how long have you been spiritually awakened, Tracy?
I'm going to say 20 years, which I hope doesn't age me way too much. And it wasn't attractive at all. It was a real beautiful punch in the face that everything, a divorce, a loss of what I thought my career was, my whole identity. And it's been an incredible journey. But for the last 17 years, it's been my profession to take everything that I've learned and share it with others so it doesn't take 3 or 5 years to get out of that hole, or 25 years if that's the coat you're wearing today.
Yeah. Time sure flies, especially when you're going down these rabbit holes.
Well, January, I can't believe it's January 26th. How did that happen?
I know, right? It feels like it's been 2 weeks or less. Well, that's the funny thing is that, time doesn't exist, and we're starting to become more and more aware of that as things start ramping up with this shift, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I heard something on a different podcast. Robert Edward Grant said something to the effect of 30% of us have already ascended into fifth dimensional awareness. And so for everyone, time is going to increase because the mass has gone critical. And so now as we remember who we truly are and things start to balance out, there really is going to be no illusion of space and time.
Oh, how exciting. What a time to be alive. And I was about to say, Nicole, there's that 30% again. You read my mind. Yep, that's exactly what I thought when she said. That's validating the same amount that we've heard recently from another source.
Oh, I love
So,
that. Oh, I love
I know,
when
right?
confirmation clicks together. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Amazing. That's wonderful. So what is the evidence that you've been seeing in your work? If you don't mind just giving people a little bit of your background.
Oh, sure. That would be great. I am what is called a spiritual Zenagogue. I channel and work within the cellular memory. I'm a psychic surgeon. And so the work that I'm doing is to remember who we are, that there is a human being user manual inside of our bioenergetic field. So a Zenagogue is someone who is the tour guide and the translator. So my purpose on this planet is to be a tour guide of the human experience. It's so important that we don't negate that we chose to come here. We chose to be human. So all of this material stuff that we're trying to run away from is so important. And this ascension is about having one foot in that material on this planet, being in these bodies as sacred vessel, but the other foot is knowing that we literally co-create our reality. And if we have a high frequency and vibration, and if we know what our unique to us power energy is, that we create from that love and joy and compassion. And so my purpose is to work with spiritual seekers that want to remember why they came here. And it's not the traditional metaphysical why, it's literally, there's a human being user manual in your biofield. And even better than that, when you chose to come to human being, you did it because this space and time is under the natural law of polarity. There is a positive influence and there's a negative influence in everything. Whether that's soul and ego, whether that's light and shadow, it doesn't matter. And we're not here to negate one and raise the other. We're here to bring them into perfect alignment. And that's how we elevate. And so in what I teach is that the power energy is what you decided you were coming here for. It has an absolute unique name to you. And it's a frequency and vibration that needs to be fed. And when that isn't being fed, that's how we get entities and attachments, because we're not in our power. We're in our negative polarity, which is also not good or bad, but it's a low frequency and vibration. Our negative polarity is our trigger. We can't live without both of them. Our trigger brings into our awareness that there's an opportunity to learn how to take our power back. We take our power back, we ascend. And so what's happening right now is more and more people are allowing their triggers to be a path that they learn from so that they can take their power back. And so my purpose on this planet is threefold. I want to share with everyone that this human being user manual exists inside of us, that the exact name of your trigger and your power, how they express as your fear and how they express as love, are managed in every breath you take through a divine assignment. But then I also want to be able to remove the blocks through psychic surgery. And here's the thing, the blocks aren't all of these dramatic things that we think they are. It's one thing. We block self-love. And then all of our energy leaks out and gets stolen. It's as simple as that. And so that's my background. I am a doctor of metaphysical psychology. I'm a psychedelic assisted therapist. And I love to teach. I'm a teacher. That's when it comes down to it, I'm a teacher.
You're like the whole package, Traci. You got all these different areas of expertise that all come together perfectly. It's amazing.
She really is. She really is. When I do, and we're going to share with you, friends, how you can connect with Traci, because Lara and I met Traci by participating in a single session, in a one-on-one session with Traci, and I've been 30 years in on this path and met a lot of fantastic educators. And what Traci brings to the equation in her initial one-on-one session with you, it is so profound and it is so rich to come out of that session with the language of the one thing, the succinct language of the polarities, and how to move forward. It is game changing, right? Because we all have a sense in vague language of, oh, unworthiness, unlovable, not good enough, not belonging. And that's broad and all applicable to all of us. We navigate all three of those samskaras. Yet working with Traci helps you draw out the specific, precise thing. It's like, this is a terrible example, but it's like if you go in and get a biopsy of something, it's like it tells you specifically what kind, what you're navigating and and then a treatment protocol. And that's exactly what it's like working with Traci. And Traci goes into the sessions with you literally knowing nothing. Like she wants to know nothing about you. It's like, just kind of stand still, don't let much of your personality come through. Answer yes, no questions. And then she goes in and, it is extraordinary. It is literally mind-blowing and game-changing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
One piece I would like to add to that was brilliant. Thank you. Like, that was a great synopsis. What is discerned is unique to each individual. Like I for the last 5 years have been tracking based on a person's first name, last name, date of birth. I provide them their 3 divine assignments and their 3 fear stories. So, that's a small sample of 6 pieces of information. 7,400 people, and no one has the same 3 divine assignments, the 3 fear stories, or the power energy.
Or just all
it's like, how is that possible? Because our divine assignment, our fear stories, which we take our fear stories by choosing our biological parents. They are our negative polarity. We bring our positive polarity with us from the first dimension. And when we step into this 3rd dimension, we do so by choosing their trauma. Her egg has 5 generations of trauma in it. His sperm have 5 generations of trauma. And you said, I want them to be my witness. I want them to be my teacher. And they provide to you the exact name, which, by the way, if anyone who does what it's called is the soul reveal reading, anyone who does the soul reading, if you're working with a practitioner already in shadow work, you can go to them with the exact name. Frequency and vibration resonating exactly for you. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're seeing a therapist or a metaphysical psychologist, and you guys have been working on the shadow story of abandonment. Well, that's awesome, because we all have abandonment trauma. Mm-hmm. And you can do that work for 20 years and see no results. Well, the reason is abandonment isn't your trauma. It isn't your fear story. And so your fear story is going, she doesn't even know I'm here. Keep attracting her abandonment. And so the second you shift all of those stories, all of those feelings, all of the work that you've done into, oh my goodness, it's not abandonment, it's betrayal. Done. All of that therapy that's already happened, you're already wearing it in your cellular memory, but it didn't go to the root yet. And that's what I love about the work that I do, is because all of the work you've done before that moment, before the generational deprogramming, is still filed in your cellular memory. And when you empty out that generational trauma, everything goes. None of it's been a waste. It all got you to the place of the courage. Oh, I love the word you used this morning, Lara. The curiosity to look within. So magic.
That curiosity is what drives our ability to learn. I mean, it's one of the most important factors in all of this.
Yeah. Well, what if it is the most important factor? What if it's the only reason we came here? We were so curious what it would be like to have an individual body, to have our own thoughts and feelings and experiences. And we were like, this is a good idea.
Yes.
I'm laughing because last night we were talking about this a little bit, and one of the most profound journeys I had, a psychedelic journey, and it was amazing set and setting and assisted. It was really brilliant. Some years ago, the journey began out in the magnificent, pure awareness of being, the pure void, pure conscious awareness. And after a while, I noticed I'm feeling a little itchy. I want an adventure. And that thought, that one desire, that everything burst into a infinite billions of kaleidoscope of shards of magnificence, and the bliss unfolded. Welcome to your life. It was only because it was boring.
Right. Can you imagine what it would feel like? I gotta change that. Could you imagine what it would be like to know everything, to feel nothing, to be all by your own self all the time?
That's what it was. It was like there's nothing I don't have access to here. All the knowledge, all the everything, all the peace, all the contentment, all the joy, all the bliss, and there's no action.
Yeah, we chose this magnificent experience, and not to negate it. I know there's so much spiritual bypassing right now, and I don't say that without judgment, because oh my God, do I love those moments of spiritual bypassing. Like, talk about just like, oh, can I please just forget everything I know for a minute? I love those.
Can I take the red pill now? Can I change my mind? This blue pill tastes funny. No, thank you.
That's it, right?
It leaves a weird taste in the mouth.
And it hurts my tummy.
Yes.
That would be the first moment of a psilocybin experience. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, my tummy hurts. Oh my God, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
You know what's funny is I've been partaking since I was about 17, and mushrooms are my favorite. And I did notice that the stomach ache thing for the longest time. I was like, why do I have such a stomach ache when I take them? And then somebody answered the question for me, and they said, and I noticed this too, because I realized it happens in other scenarios. When your vibration changes, whether it goes up really quickly or goes down really quickly, you start to feel that nauseous feeling. And then when you take the mushies, that's what happens. Your vibration is shooting upward, and that's where the nausea comes from. And I really deeply resonated with that.
May I take that a step further? And kind of a tiny bit of a lesson?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So one of the most dangerous hidden secrets that have been stolen from us, in my opinion, is that we have an innate operating system. But like any electronical device, it needs to be turned on, it needs to be used, and it needs to be maintained. And so our innate biosystem has 3 specific levels. Our first is our biome. It is our body's brain. So for example, when we take the mushrooms and the body's brain starts to fire new neural pathways and talk to cells that haven't been spoken to maybe in generations, there is a sense of We also have to activate soul's brain, heart chakra. This is where soul and ego commune, and it is the main space of the human body, because it is where the information gets translated to the biome, but also translated to the pineal. And the pineal is the third brain. It's the God brain. And so it's where all of the cosmic intelligence is funneled into and translated. So imagine if your Akashic records channel to the pineal and they're all just sitting there waiting for you to activate the information. But once it's activate, bridges translate to the heart and bridges translate to the biome. So think of the innate biofield literally as a figure eight, an infinity figure eight. So we activate the heart first because we have to turn on the biofield, which is soul and ego. So let's talk a tiny bit about that. Let's imagine that your soul is your emotional bioenergetic field. You navigate that through your breath and you experience it as you're feeling. Your ego is your mental bioenergetic field. You navigate that with your imagination and you experience it with your thoughts. So you should be thinking and feeling, thinking and feeling, thinking and feeling. But when that innate heart energy isn't activated, your soul and ego, your thoughts and your feelings get entangled. What's wrong with that? When you intuitively channel information, it can't get in to the pineal or the body because the translator isn't available. You don't get it. And there's nothing to be judgment. There's no judgment in that. It's not on. You have to turn it on. And so when we activate heart center and we invite soul and ego to disentangle and to come into alignment and to be the connection of source, we activate heart center. But then we create a bridge to pineal. And we activate the pineal. We decalcify it by spending conscious imagination and breath time there. That's all it takes to decalcify the pineal, to open the third eye, to activate the God brain. Two things, actually. Intention and awareness. And so if you set the intention that you will see, and this is really important, I will isn't something that it's been hijacked to believe. What you're saying is my will is strong enough that that is going to happen. So I will to activate my third eye. And it's literally, unfortunately, space and time is still at this low 3D experience. It's time of breathing and imagining that you are activating the God brain. And when you feel that, it's a drop in or an experience, you then take a bridge back to the heart. From the heart, you build a bridge down to the biome. Now, the biome tends to be the most challenging to activate. Many can activate their heart and many can activate their pineal. But it is challenging to activate the biome because we have so much low frequency and vibration material interference. If our biome is interfered with, if our hara is not active, so for those of you who do not know, your hara is just behind your belly button, a little bit down into the sacral chakra, and it has over 80,000 nerves, over 80,000 nerves that speak to every cell and every organ of your being. This is your brain. We've been told it's up here, not even the pineal, the hemispheres of the brain. And we have been given food that is not food. And guess what sacral chakra thrives on? Guilt and blame. And so if we're feeding ourselves guilt and blame and we're feeding ourselves crap food and we're feeding ourselves judgment and criticism, then guess what? Not only is our body brain not activated, but it is susceptible to whatever is fed through programming. So television, movies, negative energy. And that, my friend, is exactly how entities, attachments, and non-beneficial energies connect to us, because there is a lot of voided empty space in the biome.
Yeah.
Same thing. You drop in with your breath and imagination. It could take minutes. It could take days. It could take years. We don't want that to happen. And so once the biome activates, you imagine a bridge coming back to the heart. And guess what we have now? An innate super highway of information being channeled in the infinity figure 8 that is grounding you to Mother Earth, opening your heart to love and forgiveness, and connecting you directly to cosmic intelligence. You are who you said you were going to be. Spirit energy, having a human experience.
That is so beautiful. And it reminds me of what Dolores Cannon was explaining in her book about how even the cells of your body have an individual consciousness.
100%. What makes us think what makes us think we're not just a cell in somebody's body, right? 100%. And here's the cool thing about cells. Each cell knows its exact purpose. And when each cell is in alignment with its exact purpose, that's called well-being. And so right now, in Mother Earth cells, us, we're not doing our purpose. And so she isn't well.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that many of us are coming to terms with now, that we think we're healthy. You know, we drink a lot of water, we exercise, we eat our greens, and we're like, oh yeah, I've done it. Great, you know? And you realize that there's a lot of stuff going on, you know, where even people who are extremely healthy can have some kind of a health scare because something is not in alignment. And there's just so many different categories that you have to keep an eye on things too, and it's very difficult. So how do you keep that all-encompassing self-help, self-care, maintain routine type of thing?
Well, thank you for asking that question, because it's probably the most empowering gift that you can give to your community. And I want to tell you why. Because we do believe that there are billions of possibilities. And while we want to believe that there are infinite possibilities for us, and we can create that, but it's a little more simple than that. Each individual has only 2 perspectives. And we're grasping at billions of ways to understand things. And I'll share mine, for example. So in my program called the Human Being User Manual, I literally channeled for people their entire Human Being User Manual. If they have generational trauma, we'll also do soul healing protocol. But here's the gist of it. We all have a power energy, our positive polarity, and we all have a trigger energy. A trigger energy, our negative polarity. These are the only 2 perspectives that are my spiritual and physical truth. So for me, my trigger is betrayal. It's the belief that I'll constantly be disappointed and I have to do everything by myself. It creates a whole bunch of other expressions, but that's the gist of it. And my power is abundance, that there is more than enough, and that I am able to give that gift to others. And so in any given moment, with or without my awareness, no matter what my mind creates, I am only either perceiving from betrayal, and I'm triggered into a low frequency and vibration of fear, or I'm perceiving from abundance, and I am manifesting a high frequency and vibration. And so if we all know what our power and our trigger is, it becomes so simple, because all I have to focus on to be healthy physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, to have a strong character, is to focus on being, doing, and having abundance, and being consciously aware of when betrayal sneaks in. And not denying it or shaming it, but inviting my friend in. Oh, Thank you for triggering me. There's an opportunity for me to find abundance in this. I'm going to level up to next level human being, and I'm going to change the world in even better ways because betrayal, you just showed me I'm full of shit. Perfect.
Love that.
Perfect.
And I think this is what makes this work and how you really support your students and clients so profoundly effective. I like things that are effective.
Yeah.
I share colleagues that are masterful and effective. And with working with you, when you have those two polarities and you know their names, it's like you've got these two reins now. It can be the spiritual healing journey when we have our attention on so many things that we think all these are my triggers and all these are my power points, it becomes diluted. Our attention becomes very diluted. So when you bring that dristi in on this and you go, your attention is fully on them, and it is very potent. It is a very powerful way to do your healing spiritual work.
And to take it to a next level, because we all have spiritual healing work. It's why we chose human. We're here to heal the generations of trauma. But once the healing is done, because the healing does end, it's the growth, it's the lessons. Imagine that we are all here in this cosmic earth school. There are literally 12 lessons that we're here to learn. There are 3 pillars of graduating through these lessons. May I share them?
Please.
Yeah.
So our first pillar is self. Now, when many generations ago, when the grandparents taught the grandchildren how to commune to Mother Earth, how to activate their innate biofield and to communicate with cosmic intelligence, this was between 0 and 7 years old. And now this can be between 0 and 80 years old and never happen, but it's the first pillar. And there are 5 earth lessons: your physical well-being, embodying and mastering this vessel that you came to this space and time to use as your most powerful tool. Second, your emotional competence, being able to feel what soul is communicating with you. Your mental competence, how to use ego, and hear this, use ego to navigate the outside world. To navigate the outside world. Spiritual connection, know thyself. Self is cosmic intelligence, self as this physical body, self as the duality of soul and ego. And finally, character. Character is who you show up as when you're in alignment physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Self. 0 to 7. Maybe not so much. The second pillar is influential others. And this is really important because we come to this space and time having our own individual experience, not remembering our true self, and being with billions of other people who have the same plan. Different divine assignment, but the same plan. Go to earth. The first is our intimate love relationship. And this is the first for a very specific reason, because we're coming to human being to learn. We need to be both the teacher and the student at the same time. And our intimate love relationship is the first teacher that we choose. They're here to teach us our strengths and weaknesses, and we're here to teach them their strengths and weaknesses. And then to combine both of those in you. Right? The second area lesson that we're here to learn in Influential Others is parent-child. The child chooses the parent. It's a parent.
Yes.
So this is the relationship in which you haven't made any conscious choices on this planet. Your children choose you, you chose your parent. It's a predetermined dynamic designed entirely to learn how to master human. And then there's social infrastructure. This is your influences, the way in which you categorize people. And so friends, family, acquaintances, co-workers, social media, television, they're all influences. And the challenge here is that the more time you spend in an energy of another, you become more like that. We are vibrating at the same frequency and vibration as the 5 people we spend the most amount of time with. So if you're spending 8 hours a day on TV or social media, and you're spending 8 hours a day at work beside a coworker that you don't have positive feelings for, that's your frequency and vibration. It's not who you love. It's not what you want your frequency and vibration to. It's what you feed your bioenergetic field. And so in this pillar, when self is fully in alignment, we will start choosing social infrastructure and intimate love relationships that vibe with us, or we shift our social infrastructure and our intimate love relationship to be in alignment. And so what happens? The same story as soul and ego. They come together and they create the perfect cauldron. With the third, this one's fun. With the third category, I've called it life because it's unique to human beings. We are the only creatures on this planet that pay to be here. We're the only creatures that pay to be here over and over and over. Life exists of first our career. I want you right away to know that that term has been hijacked. Your career is who you are as your character, combined with the people you surround yourself with, becoming who you show up as. Your career is the energy in who you show up as. The second is our finances. It's money. If you are a master of your destiny, then your money is coming from your career. How cool would that be? And there is also in that category quality of life, the way that you feel about what you're creating, and finally a vision for the future. We're here to co-create. How can we do that if we don't actually have a vision? I can't tell you how many people first come to me and I ask, what did you want from today? What are you here for? I don't know. And that's the truth. So it's a beautiful way to answer, because when you say, I don't know, I have a world to open up for you. But that means that you have no vision for the future. And in 2015, Vishen Lakhiani of Mind Valley did some sort of a poll. 85% of people at that time had no vision for the future. 85%.
And what does that say for the law of attraction?
Yeah.
You're just going to attract anything and everything then, I guess. And you never, all the good, the bad, and the in between, because you're not really setting your intention.
And it's all going to be attracted from your fear story, because you're saying something, but your frequency and vibration is that fear story.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's what we're here to learn. We've come here as an earth school, and we don't know who we are. We don't know what we want. We have no idea what our power and our trigger is. And that's my purpose, is to share with as many people as possible who want to stand with both feet, one in this present moment and one in the etherical, remembering who they are, and being part of the collective that in our lifetime, like, can you guys believe this? In our lifetime, we are ascending to the 5th dimension. Like, it's right there. 30%.
Instant tears. Just instant.
It's like,
It's funny when you were mentioning triggers, though. I intuitively came up with mine. It just popped into my head immediately when you're talking about triggers. It's funny how that does that. Mine is injustice.
yeah.
Without a doubt.
Oh.
That's a big one for me. Yeah.
And so here's the cool piece of that awareness, Lara, is when you experience injustice, and I want everyone to hear this because this is going to change the world. When you experience injustice, your trained ego mind says, fight that, fight it, fix it, do something about it. And guess what? You become that energy. You become the low frequency vibration. Instead, put on your warrior energy, get your sword ready, and stand at the gate. You don't get to be here anymore. Imagine a bully being surrounded by a group of people holding hands and chanting, telling them they are loved. What? Imagine you have this horrific entity experience and you're slashing it and you're fighting it and you're trying to get rid of it and you're burning it. What if you just walked up to it, dropped everything, wrapped your arms around it and said, I see you, but you don't get my energy. I see you. It's all we want. And these entities, attachments, and non-beneficial energies that come to us, they're not bad. They're a lesson that we keep refusing to learn and have set out a buffet. If you don't want that wild cat eating and pooping at your back door, stop putting food out. Right?
Yeah. Wow. That is so deep. So many of us are going through this right now. Is perfect advice, especially when this shadow work period that we're all seemingly going through right now. It's
yeah, so beautiful. So beautiful.
Do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask Traci?
Okay.
My mind is a blank. Like, where do I even go from here now? So
Again,
just to reach out for some questions. I mean,
I want to just remind some friends that have just maybe joined 111. Hello.
Hello.
That Lara and I met Traci by doing a one-on-one session with her. And so we're going to share the link so that you can experience the potency of that incredible. It's one of the most life-changing sessions I've ever experienced with a practitioner. And you come out of that experience with a full report. Traci goes over the polarities. She goes over everything with you. And then you receive that. And she even offers a follow-up call, an integration call. That's not an extra cost. It is so reasonably priced. She has a discount offer for everyone here. I cannot recommend it highly enough. So Lara, I'm going to forward that link to you so you can
send it to me and I've got.
All right. Yeah, it's game changing. Truly. And then after that, Traci has other opportunities if you'd like to learn and study with her, and Traci will be teaching twice a month in Divinate membership. So we're really excited that you're part of the Platinum Educator team, Traci. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see comments. I am a spiritual master. I am a technical infant. So I don't see questions if they are there. So if there are any,
I'll highlight them. Yeah, I'll highlight them real quick.
We'll read them to you, Traci. Don't worry about it. Okay. Just enjoy.
Perfect. Thank you. And I love being taken care of. If anyone does do their soul reveal reading, 3 of the pieces are your divine assignment, but 1 is your navigation type, how you literally navigate the outside world and who you should co-create with and who you shouldn't. So there's a giver, a taker, and egalitarian, a parent, and a child energy. I am taker energy. Takers are leaders and visionaries, but they just want everyone else to take care of the small details. So Daniela, I greatly appreciate that offer.
Right. And it's wonderful, right? So to know that about ourselves and to just be able to say in our friendships and in our work relations and in our intimate relations, oh, I'm a taker and here's how I can serve you. And I'm also a giver. You know, it's a game changer in how we love with one another.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing is if you know who you are, you don't have doubt, you don't have anger, you don't have worry, and so you don't have blocks to your self-love. When you're so full of self-love, there's so much to give to others. Your cup overflows, literally. Like, how cool is that? Yeah, very good.
This is reiterating more advice that we've had this week about helping people from the overflow of that cup and making sure that your cup is full. And that's really important because you can't just keep giving and giving and giving. Otherwise, you end up burning yourself out very quickly.
Yeah. I think what we're going to find over the next 18 months or so is that the messages are all going to be the same at the foundation.
We're getting similar downloads. Exactly. This is another thing. We're all getting the same downloads. Exactly. Well, I would say all of us getting the same, but you know. Sorry, I was just thinking about these flares and how many of us codes, and it makes me wonder if that's where it's coming in through.
Yeah. And here's the piece that goes back to power and trigger. If you look at if I look at those solar flares from my perspective, I can choose betrayal, that I'm just going to be disappointed and let down, or I can choose abundance. There is something in that for me. And so choose what your power says. If it's come into your awareness and you feel drawn to it, that's the other thing. A lot of stuff comes into our awareness that we're not even drawn to, and we keep it. If it comes into your awareness and you're drawn to it, experience it from the perspective of your power every time. So cool.
Absolutely is. What an exciting time to be alive.
Isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? And for those of us who, anyone who came in the 60s, 70s, 80s, we came knowing that this was going to be a hard road, but worth it. The 90s on knew that they were going to be part of the solution, and they just had to deal with the rest of us. But imagine everything that we've learned from the moment we arrived until coming into the next year or two was preparing us for this magic to be possible.
Yes.
Debbie has a great question, Traci, for you. Debbie asks, how is the trigger and power determined?
So I'm going to shift the word determined into revealed. So it already exists inside of your cellular memory. And so deep within the spiritual bioenergetic field, there are pockets of subconscious and unconscious awareness that you brought with you from the first dimension that kind of activate like a battery that keep providing you with energy. Now, in order for that battery to be charged, our biome, our heart, and our pineal need to be operating through that innate biofield. And so what happens is most people's battery have died. And so my gift is to channel the human bioenergetic field. I literally ask permission to come in. I move through your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bioenergetic field, doing any energy work or psychic surgery that I need to get there. I bring your soul and your ego into alignment, and we move into your cellular memory, and I ask for very specific things, your divine assignment pieces and your fear stories. That's what happens in the soul reveal reading, which for you guys is only $79, which is an amazing deal. But then when we channel the human being user manual, I do the same thing, a little bit different psychic surgery because I only want the name of your power and your trigger. But then we do a little mind game reprogramming with ego to take out. I'll give you a great example. What I have here are 108 ways that human beings create rules, bullshit rules. And we play a game with these cards where we literally deprogram what is generational trauma, we deprogram what is influential others, and what we get for you is what I call your Thrive energies. And it gives you your love stories, the way that your power is expressed, whereas with your trigger, the fear stories I've given you, your generational trauma, so the biological mother's trauma, the biological father's trauma for 5 generations, and your womb trauma is how your trigger expresses. So if you think of it, Debbie, as a map, the map is revealed. Your power and your trigger are your true self, and they are right at the center of your third eye. Your fear stories express on the right, your influential others and outside, and your love stories express on the left. So in any given moment, you're able to energetically move through, ooh, I'm in my second fear story of vengeance, which means my second divine assignment, my true energy type is out of alignment. I'm not perceiving from abundance, and I need some magical pill to get me in alignment. Ooh, I'm going to go to my second love story, which is passion. How can I be in vengeance and passion at the same time? I can't. So what do I need to do? Something I'm passionate about. Instant RX. Instant RX. And so to come back to your question, Debbie, it's revealed within your biofield. And if your biome, heart, and pineal are active, you can just sit in your own spiritual bioenergetic field and ask the question. Or, which took me 17 years to figure out and create this program, or you can ask me to do it with you. It's up to you.
I just wanted to share Claire's thoughts. She said, "Hi, ladies. Thank you. You're backing up information I've been getting lately to help people dealing with attacks and to help with healing." So perfect. Spot on. Exactly what we need right now to be uplifting the spirit of everybody, raising the vibration, clearing out all the stuff that's no longer serving us.
Yeah.
It's a very important job to do right now, especially with the shift.
I channel Archangel Uriel and the goddess Ma, the Egyptian goddess Ma, who you would love because she's all about justice. And the consistent message that I've been getting almost daily for the last 2 years is hope. And at first I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, I'm a super positive person. Like, how much more hope do you need? What do you need me to do with this? And I for a while I got nothing, which is I'm a conversationalist, so it's a two-way conversation. And it's just been the last maybe 60 days that it has been very clear. If we speak the word hope, if we share ourselves from the place of hope, if everyone's attention is on hope, guess what the whole collective is going to create? Hope. But right now, we're all diversified in all of these different ways. And so let's say it is the solar flares. Let's imagine that the solar flares are saying to everyone, guys, use the same swear word language. Hope. And as we start sharing that, we become that. And hope is so wide open that all it means is positive, loving energy expressed in a positive, loving way. What if we were all just that? My only job on this planet is to spread hope. Okay, sign me up.
I'm so glad you're mentioning this today because it's funny. I did the human design test yesterday for the first time. And in one of the things that pops up in the human design, they talk about your motivation. And mine was hope.
So here's something really cool. So you guys all just got to witness Lara channel her own power and trigger. Her trigger is injustice and her power is hope. And every gift I have that says, is that true? Is true.
I
Your
can feel it.
trigger is
That is true.
injustice and your power is hope. And
And
now
that hope is what keeps me going.
And you have your fear stories too. So when in any given moment that you're not feeling awesome, okay, which one of the three things is happening right now? Oh, it's this. I've been struck by injustice without my conscious awareness, and I'm supposed to be heaving hope. Heave away. Heave away.
And for those that feel a real resonance with hope, I for years didn't have a warm feeling around the word hope because I had heard so many people in my life use hope like, oh, I hope so, Danny. Like, I'm going to do this thing. Oh, I hope so. Right. And it felt like it didn't have some power. It was not an empowered statement. And what turned it for me, what has brought me into a really beautiful relationship with hope, because it was like one of my teachers used to call hope the victim's mantra. I'm like, oh God. And so I had to do some work to unpack that, to find the magnificence of hope. And studying Enneagram and learning about the type 3, that the holy idea, the divine holy idea in the head center is called holy hope. And so if anybody wants to go down a fabulous rabbit hole with hope, Google type 3, holy hope, holy idea. And it's beautiful. The diamond approach will share with you just the most spectacular dimensions and facets of hope. It's like so deeply moving.
You know, we've had a philosophical debate about hope since Greek times. If you remember Pandora's box, everything that escaped, all the suffering and evils of the world escaped, but the only thing left in the box that she shut it just in time was hope.
Oh, I just got chills.
And so, you know, a lot of people have always had a debate about that. Like, why would you lock hope in the box? You know, when all the other things are running rampant and trying to wreck the world, why would you keep hope locked up? Why wouldn't you just send hope out into it? And that's why I say it's been a philosophical debate for a long time, as to people are trying to understand why you would lock hope in that little box. But I've always considered it to be something we're protecting, you know, something we're treasuring.
Yeah. Let me take it a step farther. You know, given some of the revelations that have happened over the last couple of years, what was released into the world was the chaos to cause the challenges. Hope had to be locked away until her time was right. For chaos to have created all of the evidence that this is not how we want to live. This is not what we came here for. And so chaos is running its course. Yeah. And that whole time, hope has been resting and rejuvenating and restoring. And so when chaos is at its weakest, she's going to come up and she's going to consume it.
Tears again.
And so why? Because that was the era of the reign of chaos. That was the masculine domination. And now we're moving back into the opposite polarity. Remember, we came here because of polarity. And so as long as we are in one, we must be in the other. And we are so close to that piece where chaos has run its course. Hope is our guide, and we ascend. And here's the piece that is challenging. We're not all going to ascend. It's going to be the same place. I'm going to
drive right now anyway.
And live in the same house like for probably another 100 years, because we're the beginning. We've just planted this seed, right? It's going to look and feel the same, except 80% of us are going to have a collective consciousness of hope. And 20% of us are going to live in that world where they believe what that meant to be negative. We're trained. Words are hijacked. Their meanings are hidden or absolutely stolen so that we don't use them in their power. Imagine every time we said, oh, I hope so, that we were poisoning her. We were trained to poison her.
Programmed.
Yep. That's over. That is over.
I wanted to share Ashley's comment on this. She says, I'm glad you're discussing hope because the Pleiadians even say, don't hope, just do. Take it out of your vocabulary. Yet it is really just the intention behind the word that we need to be careful about, and not using hope as a scapegoat for inaction. Where you just hope somebody's going to come along and do the work for you, you know? That's totally true. And yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I'd like to just add to that comment, and another thing that has been hidden and hijacked from us, is that we each have a true energy type. It's called masculine or feminine. And when we chose to come here, we came here under the law of balance. And so half of us chose feminine, half of us chose masculine. But this is a really, really important concept. This has nothing to do with man or woman, male or female. It's a path. If 50% of us take this path and collect these tools and end at this destination, and 50% of us take this path and collect these tools and end at this destination, imagine a scale completely balanced. But if we're told that you're a woman and you should be feminine energy, and we take the feminine path, guess what happens?
Yeah.
Out of balance. Masculine energy means that you move quickly. It means that you can make time move quickly. Thoughts, feelings, and experiences move quickly. It means that you are a doer. You must take action to manifest. But if you're feminine energy, you're slow moving. You can slow time down, thoughts, feelings, and experiences, and you create by allowing. And so if I'm a woman and I'm told that I have to embody the feminine, but I'm masculine energy and I start going too slow, I'm going to get stuck in the past, which is anger. I'm going to get stuck in the future, which is worry. I'm not going to move my body and my mind in an active way because I'm going to be allowing what I need to come to us. And so here's the challenge, another hijack. The divine feminine, the divine masculine is who we all are equally under the natural laws. But our true path is the way that we experience. And as masculine energy, I have to speak quickly. I have to move my body. My mind is my most important physical asset. For those of you who are feminine, you need to move slow. You need to use your heart. And so guess what happens when we come together? I'm going too fast, you're going too slow, but we meet. I'm using my mind, you're using your heart, but we meet. And so be really careful about thinking that you are a woman, so you must be feminine or female energy, and you're a man and you must be masculine or man energy, because that's not what's true in our cellular vibration. That's a collective experience that we are creating to make sure that that balance, that rise into the fifth dimension, isn't happening. That, Lara, is an injustice.
Exactly. And that's why we're here. We're here to fix that injustice, or at least play our role in doing so.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just so much work to do. Where do we get started?
I have an answer for that too.
Fantastic.
Self. It starts with self. That's another hijack. You're so selfish. You spent 3 hours meditating and journaling today. You're so selfish. Yeah, I am. My self matters. My self is full, and you can have everything you need because I have so much. And so where do we start? At self, no exception. Capital, bolded, underlined. No exception. Yeah.
Beautifully said, Traci. Thank you so much. We've already got people booking, by the way. They're in the comments saying, I just
texted Christopher. I'm like, please just book. Like, it is so life changing. It is just like I messaged Traci. I'm like, after I did that session, I'm like, oh, I know I want to learn with you, because Traci has such a beautiful way of bringing in through the masculine energy of teaching through maps and structures. And this is my mind, like, cherishes learning in this, in a masculine way, and yet also then brings in the feminine style of fluidity and movement. And it's really brilliant. I'm just so grateful, Traci, that our karmic paths are as they are together.
Me too. And I am a firm believer in nothing happens for a reason. And so it, even like a 3-way conversation, that's how things get created. 2 create the 3rd, and that is a creation. It's just so magical. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
There are 2 friends that are saying I was denied at checkout. They used the link that we shared. For some reason, I can't click on that link.
Someone else might have booked the same time slot just before. So if you refresh it and try and have a look and see, somebody else might have booked that time slot while it was pending.
That's
so
a
just
good
refresh
point,
it and try
because
Great.
yeah, and there are
so many people trying to book all at once. These things happen.
And here's something I want to share with you guys. If you get there and your appointment's 4 weeks away, still take it, because you're going to get an incredible online container that has so many lessons, so much for you to do before your appointment. And then after your appointment, even more containers unlock. And so please don't be like, oh, it's 3 weeks away, I don't want to wait. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
The universe, everything happens when it's meant to.
That's right. And for those of you whose birthday is coming up, this is an amazing gift. So if your birthday is coming up soon, you're in the cosmic cycle of winter. It means that everything in your being, so your biome, your heart, and your pineal, are in a restorative state, getting ready to make space for the creativity that is the first 3 months. So your birthday, the next month, and the month after that is your spring. And then in the eve of that 3rd month, you move into your summer, where you reap the rewards of what you created from all of the restoration you had. 3 months go by and you move into fall. You let go of everything that you learned that you don't need to carry, because you've already healed it, so that in the next 3 months you can go through restoration. And so anyone whose birthday is coming up, or even in the next,
it's Patty's birthday today. Happy birthday, Patty!
Happy birthday, Patty! Yeah, happy birthday, Patty! So what happens is, as you go into spring, knowing this information, possibly for the first time in your life, you're creating from a clean, conscious state. How magical is that? So magical. Yeah. My platform is called Self-Awareness Academy. So it's self-awareness.academy. There is so much cool stuff there. And I want to tell you something even better. If you think that's cool, wait until you get into the Divinate community, because we just built, we literally spent the last 2 weeks building 2 absolutely brand new courses. One, to activate your innate biofield, that is only going to be, it's going to be available for members for $37. And it's a full course that not only teaches you how to activate your innate biofield, it teaches you how to use your human being user program. It has a 21-day motivation email cycle, and you get the container for life. It includes my own personal playlist, and it includes an 8-part chakra balancing series for $37 only for Divinate members. And we're going to be starting a power hour where I'm gonna sit once a month and just talk to you guys about whatever is happening right now to take our power back.
And I think that first session is coming up soon, early on in February. So this is incredible.
February 8th, I believe. Yeah, is what Christopher
Well, good.
said.
Thank you, Lara. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. It will be the second Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an hour. And it will be whatever we need it to be, either bringing a current event into perspective to take our power back, asking questions. I will do innate biofield activation in that session. I'm really excited about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Anybody have any questions real quick? Just to drive this point home?
I love that real quick, which can then move us into ananother 45 minutes.
I know, that's why I said exactly. That's why.
Let's open up a massive
Okay.
yeah, the course and the power hour and the $37 epic course will all be in Divinate membership. Remember, friends, $18 a month. There's over 10 incredibly high quality workshops every month, and we really appreciate your supporting this community. The more people that join the membership, the more free things that we can give. Unfortunately, or fortunately, platforms are not free, right? So there is some cost on our end to create this Metaphysics Academy. Really, is.
It takes a community.
It does.
It does.
So we
have the most wonderful supportive community. They really do just support us in everything we're building, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. And it's for you. I mean, this is all for you. So thank you. Oh my gosh, I love that. Real minutes or football minutes?
Oh, I like football minutes. How long can I prolong this incredible moment for?
Gotta love it.
There's a question I have is that, Traci, how I was really drawn to you first was because you came into my field of awareness, and then I take time to really read and feel into someone's bio, and I moved around your website and can really see you've been doing this for a long time, and I already felt the know, like, and trust with you, and your and websites, friends, side note, really convey that, when done well. And you shared your bio was really fabulous. It was a journey, and then you read more. That took me to more of the story, and then read more. It took me to more. So I really got a whole sense of your journey. What I wonder if you'd be willing to share a little bit is, what is it like for you? What is your inner world experience when you're working with a client and you ask permission, may I enter into your field? And can you tell us a little bit about what it is, how you receive? Are you seeing, feeling, perceiving?
Yeah. I'm very fortunate in that as I'm male masculine taker, and so I get bored really easily. And I've been doing this for 17 years, and so no one experience is the same. And so that's what made it hard at the very beginning for me. I was a vice president of an alcoholic beverage company, and I had my own, that you read, serious challenges, and then moved through this metaphysical world. And so there are no singular ways to describe it. So I come with this marketing background. I love words, and someone says, "What do you do?" I don't know until I get into your bioenergetic field. But colors guide me. One of the things that I do when I go into your bioenergetic field is I look for your guides. So if I can reposition what are the chakras to who are the chakras, we each have 2 chakras that we brought with us as sacred guides. And so that's usually where I start in terms of having a really cool experience. But I'll tell you my process. I start by asking permission. Excuse me. Thank you. I'm working right now. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit of, I'm just going to have to write that down so I don't forget. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, so I first ask for permission to come into your bioenergetic field. I check for entities, attachments, and non-beneficial energies, and I clear those. I then move into the physical bioenergetic field, and for me, that's very visual. It's I'm looking for trauma that is limiting your physical body from being the device that receives all of the information. Usually it takes me somewhere. So for example, yesterday it was a cave, it appeared to be a cave that I was invited into, but when I got in, it was like Mother Nature's oasis, like out of a movie with vision ponds and animals. And so I know that that's their true physical bioenergetic field, and the cave is the protection. And so that at that point I would have to introduce myself energetically. It's all silent, but I'd have to introduce myself energetically so that they know that they can take that armor off. And then when I get into that beautiful place, it's so hard because sometimes I'm like, I just want to hang out here and ask questions and feel things, but I have a job. So can I talk later? And then I ask who the guides are. I meet the guides. I ask any particular information that I can share. It's usually at that point where I will ask if the person is an empath and what level. There are 4 levels of empath, and I will teach that in the Divinate community. And if they're a channel, there are 4 levels of channel, 4 types of channel, and I'll also be teaching that in the Divinate community. And so that's cool information. Even if someone knows they're an empath or a channel, I'm going to get information from this beautiful physical environment for them to know. Then I drop into their mental and emotional bioenergetic field, that space in between, and I do energy medicine. So that's usually more I feel. And so it's like I'm traveling through moving blocks to self-love, sealing leaks, disconnecting or disentangling soul and ego and bringing them into alignment. And then when I drop into the spiritual bioenergetic fields, for me, if I know it's going to be an easy trip, it's kind of like getting on a kid's slide and just sliding in, and you're like, oh, perfect, this is going to be great. Or it's a set of stairs that I'm going to have to walk through and you know, clear the stairs. But for me, I see, I feel, I know. Occasionally when I'm doing psychic surgery on disease, I'll feel it in my own body, just briefly, not holding on to it, but enough to know where I need to go. And then to ask that metaphysical anatomy to do the healing while I hold it in space. And then I literally just, I ask questions really super fast. I don't necessarily wait for the answers. I have 7 or 8 questions that what is their gender energy? What is their true energy type? What is their navigation type? What is mother's generational trauma? What is father's generational trauma? What is their womb? What do I need to know about them? What specific thing did they say they wanted as evidence? And then I just sit there and I wait for the information to come and I start writing it down. Yeah, and if you're also an essence of Uriel, I tend to just sit and hug you for a while and be like, "Oh my God, I'm Uriel's child too. It's so good to see you." And then I get the heck out.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that is the experience. But again, and thank you. It is never the same. Because I probably, you know, some days I do, so I work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I have a 30-minute lunch, a 30-minute dinner, and a 1-hour nap. So some days especially with classes, I can see 30 people in a day,
Mm-hmm.
and it's never,
Mm.
never the same. And it's that is the greatest gift I've ever been given, because boredom is my trigger story favorite dessert. And if anyone does end up doing either the Human Being User Manual, which is the full channeling and the reprogramming of all of those 12 Earth lessons, or the Soul Healing Protocol, which is healing the generational trauma of psychic surgery, channeling the Human Being User Manual, and then reprogramming the cellular being. In that, we do a full lesson called Scale of Awareness. So you know your power and your trigger, and you know your love stories, but there's little activators that feed your power and your trigger. So for me, I know that boredom and a very particular not nice statement. So if in my mind I go, are you, swear word, kidding me? I know right away that I'm about to go into some sort of an anger that's going to activate my fear stories. And so that's become my if I'm like, oh, that's it. It's all I need. It's like, oh, wow, I shifted out of that really quick. So good information. Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many people booking.
Right. Hopefully we don't. What's happening right now? It's all gone silent in the chat. They're booking. Seriously, best $59 in dollar investment. I cannot stress that enough, and I don't get a free toaster or anything by saying
right.
That.
If you want a coffee maker,
I don't get
I have to tell you. And in a minute, I'm going to give a dog away if anybody would like him.
Yeah, let's
Angus. Angus, for anyone who does one-on-one sessions with me, spiritual guidance and psychic surgery, Angus, his sister Freya, and Trinity are all trained as metaphysical therapy dogs. So Angus activates in a certain way when there is anger, which is the low frequency and vibration that becomes depression. Freya activates when there is anxiety, that is worry, chronic worry. And Trinity activates when there's entities and attachments around. And so I can be in a treatment and he'll do what he's supposed to do to activate. And I know to just kind of look outside of where I am to clear the external anger, the external anxiety, or to do another entity clearing. And so it's really cool. It's really cool because when I was bricks and mortar, my 3 dogs are a business. They're employees of True Path Consulting. And now that we work from home, it's just, you can see I'm on a love seat. My husband put wheels on the love seat so it could be my desk chair, because Trinity is behind me, Freya's on one side, and Angus is on the other.
She's got her spirit team right there.
Physically and metaphysically. So beautiful.
I love Heather's comment. Best staff meeting ever.
Yeah. I have a post that I do called Behind the Scenes at Traci Trimble. And some days I'll come in and Freya's laying on the desk and the other 2 have the whole love seat. And it's like, guys, today's not the day you're working. So when I usually do the soul reveal readings, I tend not to have them in there because they snore. Or when Trinity experiences an entity, she makes this ridiculous bulldog noise that's quite humiliating. And I don't want people to think that it's me. So they tend not to be in the soul reveal readings, but they'll lay at the door and go, and Freya makes the noise and she actually says, Mom. It's like, Mom, Mom. So amazing. So amazing.
Gotta love French.
Dream come true. Yeah, it's like, do you have a dog that speaks English? Yes, I do. Very good.
Traci, you're on Facebook as well, correct? You have so we have your website. We've got the link for the $79 special price for the session. And are you also I know you're on Facebook. So how?
I am. It's Traci Trimble, PhD. But I have to be genuinely honest. I don't feel good on Facebook. And so I personally am not. My staff takes care of that. So big shout out to Grace, Jay, and Julia for making my life amazing. But on Facebook, you wouldn't directly get to me. But if you wanted to directly get to me, and I want to say this as an absolute invitation, whether you choose to work with me or not, if you have any questions, I love questions. So just email me, traci@tracitrimble.ca. You can Facebook private message the Traci Trimble PhD, but Grace is going to get it first, and then she'll eventually get it to me. I'm just not awesome at Facebook.
That's okay. Facebook allows for people to just see posts, and I know they help make great content, and I just want to let people know where to find you. And your team is fantastic. Just kudos to your incredible team, to Grace, Jay, and Julia. They've been fantastic to work with behind the scenes to help bring you into Divinate membership as a platinum educator. So thank you.
Is there a messenger system in the Mighty Network?
There is a chat. Yes, it's called chat instead of messenger. So people can reach you directly through what's called chat.
Okay, so part of Julia's responsibility moving forward is to be having daily contact on Divinate. So yeah, that's a great way to get us. She not only she manages me, but not only is she responsible for client care, she's also one of my practitioners. So I train bioenergetic therapists, certified in Canada as natural health practitioners and registered in the US as bioenergetic therapists. And so everything I've ever done, she has done as the student and now works with me. So yeah, you can ask her anything, and if she doesn't know, she'll find me, but she's a incredible wealth of beautiful knowledge.
Wow, Lucy, thank you so much. What an amazing conversation.
Thank you.
We've learned so much, Traci. I'm gonna have questions for you, I'm sure, eventually. No, as I try to think of this stuff. And I'm so grateful thank you very much for the session that you gave me, because I'm still using information from it. I learned quite a bit from you. So I just want to say thank you so much. This has been a wonderful chat, and you guys are gonna love your readings. Trust me, it's gonna be incredible.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And we'll have you back sometime. We'll definitely continue on this chat. We would love that.
Yeah, I would love that. I'd love that. I always like to wrap things up with this. Is there anything that you two need from me today that you don't feel like you've received?
I feel complete. Tears just at that thoughtful question. I'm just so touched by the thoughtfulness of that question and taking space and pause for that. So thank you. I feel complete and just thrilled. My heart is so fulfilled by sharing incredible educators that can support the community in their healing, growth, and evolution, so that each one of you here can flourish and thrive as your divine assignment. That's all. So I'm always my heart is so happy. It's yet another facet to support everyone's freedom. So that's what moves me deeply.
Yeah, beautiful.
And trustworthy guides, trustworthy, skillful guides that have really done their own work.
Yeah. If I can leave one last controversial statement.
Oh yeah, go.
By all means.
You are all that matters. You are matter. You are all that matters. Focus on you and every other piece of magic is going to find you. It's all in you.
Beautifully said, Traci.
Thank you. Thank you.
Much love. Thank you so much. And I love you all very much. Daniela, what do we have on Divinate today?
Well, today is take all in. Let's go back for notes. The next thing up that we have is on Saturday. Christopher and I are leading the last of our free Qigong classes, Quantum Qigong, which supports the 3 centers of intelligence, the head center, the heart center, and the hara, right? It helps to bring them all online. So the Quantum Qigong, friends, you have another free class opportunity before we start the 12-week immersion.
What time is that on Saturday?
1 o'clock on Saturday. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, please.
Then, on Sunday, there are 2 things. There's, again, Quantum Qigong with Christopher at 10. I'm leading Ho'oponopono and I Am and Sacred Energy Healing on Sunday from 11 and at 11 and 12. That's Sacred Sunday. And then on Sunday afternoon in paid membership, Rachel Chamness will be hosting the Mediumship Circle, connecting with the Fae. And Lara, anything else you want to say about that? And that again, friend, is in paid membership.
For anyone who wants to get their feet wet with mediumship, this is the best opportunity we've provided so far. So that way you guys can get an idea of what it's like to be a part of an online mediumship circle. And we're going to have a rotation of different mentors coming in to give us advice. That way we can learn from many different people, which is always better. And it's going to be a wonderful way to get to know other people in this community too. So all around, it's going to be a wonderful experience for you guys.
And what was that called?
That is
Mediumship Circle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, the Divinate Mediumship Circle. Yep, that's going to be, I believe is it 2 p.m. on Sunday or is it 1? Hold on.
I think 1. 1 is ringing a bell. And
yep, 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. EST on Sunday.
And Kaya can be continuing this, I think, is her last week, unless it's going to be extended. We don't know yet, of her 9:30 a.m. harmonic resonance 11-minute daily activations that continues. And Kaya will be back with us on Monday to follow up from the activation sessions. So Traci, you'll love Kaya. Like, I just was seeing all of our platinum educators doing a whole weekend panel symposium, like
yeah, Gaia, eat your heart out. We're gonna make some waves.
Yeah.
Look out, Gaia.
I can't wait until there is a point where we gather together live and I host a sacred plant medicine ceremony for you.
Oh, you're speaking my language, Traci.
That's my dream. Let's go live.
Let's manifest that right now. We'll start working on that.
Tell me you're in. It's like we're so close to each other. I think I know to Daniela, I'm 3 hours drive. So I'm not sure how far away that is.
Okay, so then you're 6 hours from me then. We'll meet in the middle. We'll all hang out at Daniela's house. We'll party at Daniela's.
That's right. We got space.
Get in the car.
Oh, I love you both. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I love all of you very, very much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.